What is good, YouTube? Playoff reaction to the Philadelphia 76ers losing to the Atlanta Hawks, and now the series is tied 2-2. I thought that this would be a long series. I thought that the Hawks would at least get 2 games, and even in this game, it looked like the Hawks could possibly lose. They were down by double figures for a long time, and then they was able to claw their way back. They finally started making threes. Trae Young started making some floaters. They switched some things up, like I said, that they would have to do if they wanted to win another game. And they ran some more action. They kept their guys but spaced the floor. Clint Capella played a little soft in the beginning of the game, but he was able to get some dunks and some layups in the second half. John Collins was able to get a lot of offensive rebounds, whether it was through dunking it in or even just laying it in. He was aggressive. He was hungry. He's seen opportunities and he's seen guys not boxing out, and he took advantage of it. And he was able to kill Philly on a lot of those opportunities. And so was Clint Capella was able to help them out. Court Miles hit some big shots for Philly, but it wasn't enough as they went down. Joel Embiid had some opportunities to put the lead up for the Sixers or allow them to take the lead, and he just didn't make those shots outside of the free throws, and he disappointed. He crumbled under the pressure, and Trae Young was able to make plays for his teammates and also able to make big shots that can help them get the lead or seal the W, and that's why that's why it's tied 2-2. Trae Young rose to the occasion while Joel Embiid kind of crumbled and faltered. And Ben Simmons, he was supposed to be guarding and containing and being an all NBA defender. Same with Matisse Thybulle. Congratulations to them. But they couldn't stop this Hawks team tonight. This Hawks team got going. They got a lot more switches. Trae Young was a lot more aggressive attacking the paint. He was not just settling for mid-range and jumpers, and his speed and his quickness was able to allow them to collapse the defense, find shooters, or him picking apart the defense and making easy opportunities with floaters and layups and free throws. And that's Trae Young's game, and he was able to figure it out in the second half, especially. And they was able to make a run, and everybody was contributing from the Hawks. Bogdanovich made some shots, Herter made some shots, Capella, John Collins made some shots, and next thing you know, they was riding the momentum of the crowd and their play. And next thing you know, you're looking at a tie series going back to Philly with a team that got a beat up Embiid, no Danny Green, and we really don't know who's going to win this series because one team looks better than the other. The next minute, the other team looks better than them in the next half. And it's a Jekyll Hyde type of thing going on where one team looks like it figured everything out about the other team. The next thing you know, they can't guard or stop each other, depending on what game it is, in this series. And it is crazy that the Sixers have no answer for Trae Young, and nobody has, honestly, in this entire playoff run. And the Hawks was a team that was the underdogs, and now they showing that they can compete with this team. They can go right at the Sixers. They're not scared of the Sixers. They feel like they can bang with the Sixers, and they should. This series is tied, and they have the ability to put the Sixers on the brink of elimination. Even though the Sixers are the better defensive team, even though the Sixers do have a lot of perimeter players that can shoot, that can score, they have a size advantage on the wing as their wings are bigger and stronger. But it didn't matter right now. It's all about who can play basketball the best. It's all about who can make the plays and make the shots. And it was Atlanta Hawks tonight, and you have to give them credit. But the Sixers got to figure out some things. A lot of the stuff they was running the last 2 games was working. The Hawks had no answer. The Hawks had no way to stop them, and Embiid was able to plow through and get whatever he wanted to go. And same with Tobias. Tobias was able to hit the threes. He was able to hit the mid range. He was able to get to the paint, and role players around them was stepping up. Even Thibault was able to knock down the wide open three and help them get a lead, which they couldn't keep. And Ben Simmons, he made some shots, whether it was dunks or layups, and getting steals and pushing the tempo time and time again, and even getting guys to their spots and finding them or allowing Embiid to do his thing in the paint. But it just wasn't enough. The Hawks are a potent team that when their shots are falling, they're one of the toughest teams to defend, especially because they space the floor so well, and they have guys that can put the ball on the ground and knock down shots, or even just be so deadly if you leave them open. And when Trae Young is finding his way in the paint and finding his way coming off those screens, he really put the defense at his mercy, and it's just about him making the right decision or making the right shot, kind of like Chris Paul, but just a little bit more better, more efficient, and a better defender. But Trae Young is young, and he's still learning the game. This is his first time being in the playoffs. This is the first time winning the series, and was a big game for him. Not only just scoring the ball, but finding his teammates for lobs, for threes, and giving them easy opportunities even in transition, or just pushing the ball every once in a while just to keep the defense off, just to find guys open faster just because the defense wasn't set or a guy just wasn't paying attention enough, and the Hawks was able to take advantage of those mistakes, or a guy just being caught off guard and got easy buckets because of it. Then a lot of that has to do with Trae Young's speed and quickness, but also his vision and his playmaking ability, which he was drafted for. And he's showing that right now that this guy is an all-star. This guy is one of the best players slash guards in the league, and he's showing it when it matters most. And that's where the legends are made, and it's called the NBA playoffs. And you have to give this man this credit, and you also have to give him love for what he has been able to do for this Hawks organization that drafted him and built this offense around his type of style and this type of play, and are benefiting from that already this season. And they actually, to me, have a legitimate chance to win it. I felt that way coming into this series, especially depending on the health of the Sixers, and this, the Hawks just look amazing again. The question for them will be, can they continue to make the right decisions? Can they hold their composure when things get rough and get bad? And can they continue to make plays and knock down shots and move the ball and make the threes that's open when they're open? And they can really become a problem for this Philly team. And Philly gonna have to find a way to, stay disciplined, not whining, not complaining, not fouling, and communicating on when to switch and when to stay home to the shooters, so that the Hawks don't get everything and everybody involved, and everybody's killing you, including Trae Young picking you apart. And then that just becomes a headache, just because you have to give up something. You can't give them everything. And right now the Hawks are still finding other ways to get open, and he's still finding other ways to play off Trae Young, and he's been amazing. Just to be honest, he has been absolutely fantastic so far in the playoffs, and he actually has a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals in his first trip to the playoffs, and that's something that rarely happens for young players. And Trae Young, has the opportunity now to take a command and take back home court advantage, kinda, if they can win in Philly in Game 5. And we'll see what happens. But let me know, is you surprised that the Sixers was able to lose the lead and give the Hawks a chance to win this game, and they ultimately did? Or are you more happy that the Hawks showed fight? They showed that they wasn't going to quit, and they showed that they compete with the Sixers even though they're the number one seed in the East. We're not scared of you guys. We're just as good as you guys, and we're going to come at you guys and ask you, what are you going to do? And the Hawks was able to do that in the third and the fourth quarter, and they was able to get the W at home, taking care of their home court. Now they got to actually win a game in this series in Philly again if they want to win this series. And this team is prepared. This team is young. This team is hungry. And this team is playing like a veteran team right now, even beating the veteran Philadelphia 76ers team in their duo. And with Clint Capella is finishing and protecting the paint and rebounding, and Collins is mixing it up from the inside out, and Trae Young is probing and keeping the defense honest and making them react to his every dribble, his every move. This team is firing on all cylinders when guys like Herder, Bogdanovich, and even guys like Danilo Gallinari are giving them space and able to knock down those mid-range if they get ran off the three-point line. and even hit floaters and jumpers, and they all are great free throw shooters outside of Clint Capella. They're a dangerous team and a team that you have to pay attention for. Pay attention to at all times, just because everybody in this lineup, in the lineups they play, is a threat and a weapon, and it just adds so much pressure on making mistakes and trying to stay disciplined at the same time. And they have really put a scare right now in Philly. Philly has been in every game, so has the Hawks for the most part, besides a blowout. And this series can go either way. Let me know who you think is gonna win. Let me know you think who gonna take the next game. And do you think the Hawks can actually beat Philly, or will Philly just be too prepared and too ready for them? Plus, they have home court advantage, and they just a little bit too much for them at the end of the day. And a veteran team will beat the young team, or do you think it like just like we've seen with the Suns? The Hawks are the real deal, whether they're young or not, and we can't hold that against them because they're playing well, and they actually have been playing to a point where you have to give them respect for being prepared and also being dangerous. And if they continue to play like they played tonight and in game one, this team can beat anybody in the East, and they're proving that right now against the number one seeded Philadelphia 76ers. Other than that, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of y'all day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with the Clippers Jazz game, and also the game tomorrow. I'll be covering both of those in tomorrow's video, so that gives you a reason to keep watching, give you a reason to subscribe. And other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, I'm signing out, and I'll be back with the Brooklyn Utah series tomorrow with updates. Other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. Hopefully you guys enjoy your Monday and see y'all Tuesday, hopefully.